Updates that will save Rust Console. Everybody has their own personal preference list as to what updates will save the game. And today, I'm going to be putting mine forward to you guys to have a discussion whether you agree, disagree, or anything that I've forgotten to put in this list. Because let's be honest, I probably have forgotten a few things on this list since my brain is fried from playing this fucking game. So without further ado, let's get into it. So this is going to be the first update I think that would save Rust Console, or at least make it evolve to where the game can basically capitalize on its full potential. And as well, a lot of these updates that I'm going to be saying would probably only be possible if this update happened, and that is a new gen only version of Rust Console. Now, there's people saying out there that you can't, D11 can do this and they can't do this. So let's put all the cards on the table and talk about briefly why Rust Console was made for old gen in the first place. Now, Rust Console dropped at a time where new gen was new. So the majority of the community that played this game at first glance, including myself, didn't have a new gen console. I was still on old gen. However, because of how shit my console actually played on this game and performed, I had to invest in a new gen. D11 captured both markets for both old and new gen, and yes, it brought a player base and a community within the game for its stepping stone and foundation for the game to be where it is today. However, they kind of shot themselves in the foot because everybody's going to be moving to new gen, and like a broken record, the newest or the latest or most recent old gen is nearly 10 years old. 10 years old as well. The new GTA game, GTA 6, is going to be coming out, I believe, like this time next year, and that's going to be new gen only. So if that game is going to prompt anyone to be new gen, it'll be that. But that is the reason why D11 opted for optimizing both consoles, because it would capture both audiences on new and old gen. That way they can make and establish a community, which they have done. So the next question is, why haven't they made a new gen only version game yet? Well, for one, the game's 2 years old and they're still, bringing new content and flushing out new updates to the game, which in itself is time consuming, especially the fact that D11 isn't the biggest gaming company out there. However, they would have to make the game again, and that's no easy task. Although they'll just port everything, and I'm no gaming developer, although I studied it in college. I'm guessing that's another time consuming job, and as well costly, probably towards Double 11. I don't see new gen only coming anytime soon. I've said a lot of times, especially within the Discord when I was in it, that they don't want to move to new gen only because they want to keep the old gen console community, as the game was first made for old gen. I do see some really kind of frustrating points that people pose to this. They say, well, look at all the other games that are on old gen and they're working fine. It's just not Rust. It's just not Rust. Every game is different. Every game is performing differently. Every game has its different demands. Rust Console is a completely different game to what FIFA is. Not to mention, FIFA have better gaming developers than Rust Console has. Like, all these factors in, you can't just say, oh, well, look at all the other games on old gen. You just can't say that because of how many factors go into why that game is playing on old gen and probably performing, for example purposes, better than Rust Console is. But I do believe D11 are really, shooting themselves in the foot if they're not planning to move to new gen only when GTA 6 comes, because that game is gonna, skyrocket sales in new gen consoles, and rightly so. It's just the next step in which you take to buying a new console. It's one of those things. It's happened with Xbox 360, Xbox One, and now with the newest gen consoles. So new gen only is my first on the list. Second on the list is 4 to 5 KM maps. Now, if we have 4 to 5 KM maps, I'm not expecting this to come in within the next year. Next 2 years, yes. But within the next year, we've obviously got 3.5 KM maps, which have, not even dropped to main branch yet. However, if we get 4 to 5 KM maps, that's going to unlock 1, a lot more monuments, and 2, a lot more transportation updates. I'm talking cars and minis / scrap helis that everyone wants, but we're not going to get realistically with old gen optimized. But also as well, with these newer maps being 3.5 KM, I hope they make them flatter than usual, because the maps that we have, the terrain is just ugly. So I'm hoping that, these new maps they're going to be producing, the seeds have really big flat areas, 4 big bases, or it just makes the game a little bit better and more playable. Which now leads us on to my third in the list, which is the spray HUD. Now, the spray HUD is basically what I've just made a video on when combating Zen, where you have the spray on the top right of your screen, whether you're in aim training servers or you're an admin, whether you're in your own community server. When shooting the weapon, you have your spray, and then you have the weapon spray that is done by D11. So you can see how perfect or close your spray is changes to the one that was made. Again, this benefits in two ways. One, if you're combating cheaters, specifically Zen players, as they'll hit the perfect bullets all the time. And two, just for you to get better at the game and with your spray and seeing how much better you're improving day by day. This is something that is aiding legit players as well. It's not just trying to combat cheaters, so it's helping in the long run for those who are still playing the game legitly. Now, fourth on the list is performance update, more specifically reduce lag and steady frame rate. Now, this game just really struggles with a steady frame rate and especially reducing lag. Now, a lot of people get lag when they're on region servers that they're not supposed to be on. So let's say, for example, I'm from the UK and I play a Cali server. Of course, I'm going to lag. However, if I play an EU server, it's less likely I'm gonna, experience a lot of lag. So let's get that point out the way. Now, if we're going into an EU server and I still lag a lot, yeah, there's a big problem. Of course, it could be down to my internet, but I play on a Ethernet cable like a lot of players do on this game. But I think more importantly, steady frames. People just want a steady frame rate when playing this game. Talking specifically when running around bases or big bases in this type of conversation, although D11 did bring out an update that fixed this. However, I still see a lot of people complaining that even when they're going past big bases, they're still lagging. And in general, on a performance update, people are wanting over monument updates, and that's saying a lot because people want new content and have fun with the game with a new, fresh experience. But if they're wanting a performance update over that, then yeah, something should really be reconsidered or looked at within the D11 team when it comes to Rust Console. Now, number 5 is old FOV. God, do I miss the old FOV. It's something small, and you may not say it will, save Rust, but when I look at old gameplay on PC and when I look at old gameplay for console, damn, I just missed the old FOV. The old FOV was so good. It was so cool. Just to see your stock on the weapon and just to play how you did with the old FOV. Whether it's, it's just a nostalgic feeling, and I'm being a nostalgic merchant right now. I just think old FOV should come back. I don't really like the new FOV that is just so zoomed in. I don't really like how the hollow bounces because it's kind of replicating what they're doing on PC. However, we're not using the PC recoil. We're using our own recoil that was dumbed down from the original PC recoil a couple years ago. Give us the old FOV back and give us the old bounce of the hollow back because I just miss it, and I think it's really cool. A lot of the community as well say it's really cool. It would be nice to just see the old FOV back. This one is controversial. D11's own recoil pattern. Now, I've said multiple times I do not want the PC recoil. I don't want it anytime soon. I don't want it anywhere in this game because I don't rate it. I've played PC. I really don't like it. However, D11's own recoil would actually be a good thing. It doesn't have to be the hardest, it doesn't have to be the easiest in the world. It could be slap bang in the middle where it's somewhat challenging but doesn't take you 3k hours to learn or perfect. It's easy enough for legit players to then combat people who are cheating, but still poses somewhat a challenge. And as well, hell, it would be great marketing, as I've always said, for D11. If they made a really good recoil, PC and face punch in their community will look like, what the f is happening? How is console making a better recoil than we did? But number 7, content creator skins. I really do think content creator skins should be something D11 should consider when coming to Rust Console. If they work with someone who is a creator on the game to make their own skin, I think it would be amazing. And it's something to give back to the people that promote the game. Now, whilst I'm banned, I would still love to see, a skin of mine put into the game. And I would vouch and I would go against D11 for all they've got because, in my opinion, not in my opinion, I think they falsely banned me. From what I've heard from Pedro, from what I've heard from, loads of people, whoever was banning at D11 must have had something against me because they banned me with, very little knowledge on what cheating actually is. So let's say like content creator skins, Obi, mine and others, it would be really cool to see this within the game because content creators are one of the driving forces to promoting a game nowadays. It's not just advertisement or marketing. Content creators are a huge part of this, and I think it should be rewarded in some way, shape or form. And what better way than having your own skinnable items within the game? So number 8 is PvP driven monuments. In my opinion, Arctic Base and Excavator. Now, whilst you could easily say, yeah, but there's scientists, however, on community servers, you can have the option to ignore or have all scientists ignore players. Now, if you switch this on, then boom, you have a great PvP monument. And whilst I always try and advocate and say, Rust Console isn't just about PvP, it's about a lot of other things and just being survival of the fittest, it'd be nice to have another PvP monument other than launch site. I'm not gonna lie, I'm getting bored of just PvP in a launch site all the fucking time. And I think the snow needs a really good monument. I think it's missing that. And it would be really good to have Arctic Base as the PvP monument for snow. And then for the woodland and desert biome, you have launch, or you have excavator. Excavator would be an amazing PvP monument. Now finally, number 9, plugins for community servers such as time kept kits, offline raid protection, etc. So time kept kits, specifically, for example, we have the Million Times server on PC, and you can click a kit that you would like, such as a boom kit where you just receive C4, rockets, etc. And then you can't unlock that kit for another 2 hours, let's say, on that server. That would be a really good feature to see within the game, as well as offline raid protection. I think we all need to have this within the game. Now, there's a lot of servers out there, or a couple servers I should say out there, that are doing offline raid protection, but it's just kind of not easily done. And I have to give it to the Rust Console community. We do find our way around things when it comes to this. But I think D11 should really make time kept kits, offline raid protection, and maybe kill feed just easier to access, or have a little switch on and off button that you have within the settings, almost specifically G-Portal having this. And that is 9 things, in my opinion, that will save Rust Console, or updates that will save Rust Console. What are yours? Leave your comments down below. It'd be nice to have a discussion about this. And what did I miss within my list that you think is crucial? Just some honorable mentions that people might bring up for this. Gambling, or let's say tradable kits, just not going to be happening, because I'm pretty sure consoles like such as Microsoft and Sony are cracking down on gambling. I mean, look at Rocket League. They've just taken out their tradable system, which was a huge part of their community and the USP within that game. So I don't think we'll be seeing trading or any type of gambling systems anytime soon within this game. Leave a like if you did enjoy the video. It helps me and the video out massively, and pushes the video out to more viewers who may like this sort of content. Subscribe if you're also new around here. We are rapidly approaching 3,000 subscribers, which is just amazing. I can't thank you guys enough for the support. Follow me on Twitter. I'm always active on there, as well as join up the CNQR Discord. It is discord.gg/CNQR RCE. We are rolling our newest server out as beta for the moment until the new update for Rust Console hits main branch. So there's a lot of exciting things that is happening right now. That's all for now. Thank you for watching, and as always, I'll see you in the next one.